First of all, thank you so much, Arkki, to invite us to this great conference. My name is Elena Karpilova. I'm the head of the Architectural Thinking School for Children. I'm actually artist and a critic of art.
Hello, my name is Alexander Novikov. I'm an architect and I'm as well the head of the Architectural Thinking School for Children. Architectural thinking, as we understand it, is a system thinking of an architect. Architect has to do a lot of things in his daily work. He has to design, he has to research, he has to present his projects in the public. In the end, he has to combine lots of different fields. That is what we teach our students.
We opened our school in 2016 in Minsk, Belarus. And we were the only one, and we're still the first one who studying architecture with children in Belarus. And when we opened, we first thought about which program we could develop. So we developed a program which consists 7 years of studying architecture, but not only architecture. And we developed a lot of methodology. In this 7 years program, we have more than 500 lessons for children. So for each lesson, we have a special document, where we describe the aims of the lesson, the targets, and so on. Some recommendations for the teacher, which instruments she or he could use. And we are very proud of our teachers. Here you see some of them. We have more than 60 disciplines in our school, and we have more than 60 teachers who are professionals, who are practicing in their fields, whom we're inviting in our school to share their knowledges. But but to work with children is not so simple, so we teach teachers how to teach. And here you see an example, just one example of one document for the lesson, with some recommendations and even with some example what could be in the end of the lesson. And here you see the scheme of 2 years of studying in our school. Yes, we have 7 years, but here is the only 2 years, because from this 2 years program we started in 2016. Outer circle you see is the first year of studying, inner circle is the second year. And each year is divided on 4 semesters, and not every semester is dedicated to architecture, because our school is about thinking. And we are concentrating on this interdisciplinary way of studying. For example, we have semester where kids creating their book, we have semester where kids creating their own cinema, and in the end of each semester we have a big presentation for every pupil, for every student, and for every parent, and we invite everyone, where children present their project. It could be a book, it could be cinema, it could be architecture. And in semester of architecture, you see, we study not only architectural design, but object design, storytelling, photography, dance, ecology. Yes, dance, you could be surprised, but children try to explain, try to show their projects through the plastic of their bodies. And this program and all this methodology, and the interesting thing that we have some recommendations not only for teachers but also for students and for their parents, but it's not strict rules, absolutely not, it's just recommendations which we developed with a lot of psychologists, not only me and Alexander.
And the second year was devoted to research. We researched our city, Minsk, the city we live in, and we started from city structure and finished with even cooking. So there were lots of disciplines in there. And as a final result of the second year of the city research was this interactive map, which is called, you can Google it immediately, minski.by. And I will go through just one semester only, which was devoted to architecture. The task was to design a mass housing for the future Minsk in 50 years. To do so, we started with the research of architecture that we have now in Minsk. In Minsk, we have this legacy of panelized architecture, and it is still being built, so we decided to research it. We were thinking what can be taken into the future, what has to be left, because it failed. We did all these beautiful drawings, and then we moved to sociology. The children who were designing these buildings, they were 10 to 12 years old, which means that in 50 years they themselves will be the tenants of these buildings. So they had to question one another how they are going to live in the future. So we made these lots of graphs and then analyzed the data, and in the end we made these huge infographics. That is a person who's gonna live in 50 years in these mass housing buildings, and it shows the way of life of this person. Then each student had to make a speculation on the future, so to make a certain scenario of how the future will work, starting from cars, ecology, and lots of things had to be included. After the scenario was made, children started designing the buildings themselves. If you design a building for the future, you better try to use the tools of the future. That is why we use this VR technology to try our ideas there. And then we designed, and then we made models, and in the very end we had the huge and beautiful exhibition in one of the art galleries in Minsk. These are some of the models. In the end we had lots of projects. When we went through all the projects, we found one interesting thing, that children, without knowing any avant-garde ideas of the architects, they sort of they find them themselves, or they reinvent these avant-garde ideas. And let me go through some of the projects, and I will compare them with the avant-garde. That was designed by a student 10 years old. He says that in the future Minsk will be constantly damaged by the weather, by the earthquakes, and people have to somehow adapt to this kind of living. That is why he designed this building, which is reinventing itself all the time, rebuilding itself, and it clearly, for me at least, reminds this metabolism in Japan. Then this project is called The Snail. It is a huge 10-story iron building which is moving around the city, and it is recultivating the soil, because the soil and the air will be polluted by the previous generations. Here is Arkki, but you surely know this project, but the difference is that these walking cities are consuming, but our student designed something that is more helping, not destroying. This project is called the water drop. Our student says that the main and most important resource of the future will be water. That is why he put the water tank in the very center of his building, and I saw the resemblance with the Lenin Institute of Ivan Leonidov. Next project, it is called the City of Parks. That is the huge building, 5 stories. On each floor there's a park. On each floor there is its own reality. And that is this picture found by Rem Koolhaas in the Life magazine cartoon, where there is this formula of a skyscraper, which says that on each floor there is its own reality. And this project, I want the author speak for himself. Show us the video, please.
Мой дом был создан для того, что я думаю, что в будущем будет лесоапокалипсис. И поэтому он понадобится, потому что он будет выше лесов и всей природы. Мы не будем ей мешать. И в принципе для таких целей он создан. В сейчасшних зданиях мне не нравится то, что тебе могут мешать, то есть чужие звуки. Соседи могут мешать что-то делать, сконцентрироваться на чем-то. И вот такая вот проблема. А в моем доме дети, чтобы им взрослые не мешали в своей жизни жить, когда подрастут, специальные домики отдельные. Один дом для взрослых, можно с маленькими детьми совсем жить, а дом, который для детей, там именно для детей, которые постарше, возраста с где-то 9 по 12, ну даже с 9 по старше даже. Вот, и все такое, поэтому мой дом вообще, он на огромном мосте, который почти не заканчивается. Если в осенний сезон кто-то захочет собрать грибы, и он прямо над лесом будет жить, то легко это сможет сделать, если он просто спустится вниз по моим лестницам или на лифте. В этом доме жить очень удобно, но самая хорошая особенность в том, что больше природы появляется. Мы не мешаем ей, и в принципе сверху на транспорте у меня ездить запрещено, потому что там очень узкие дороги. Там можно ездить на роликах, на велосипедах, на самокатах и ходить пешком. Этот дом мне очень нравится, потому что я придумала его сама, и я надеюсь, всем он понравится.
So here's the project of Anya again, House Above the Nature. And almost a year ago we thought, oh, why not to collect almost not all, but some of the projects of our students, because actually they're genius in a way. And this idea to make a parallel between ideas of students, of little architects and famous avant-garde architects came to us, and we decided to make a book which called House Dom Dom. It means house in 3 languages. The book will be published in this December. Actually, we are on a Finnish way to publish it. And in book we will compare children's projects with some very famous projects. Here is the Frank Gehry project. And it will be in 3 languages, in Belarusian, Russian and English, because in Belarus we have 2 state languages and we respect both. And in English language, and it will be 320 pages. And we have a small, just a little example with us, so if you will be interested in after conference, you can come to us, we will show you what it is, you can look at some of the projects. And here it is, I think, here is some students of our Architectural Thinking School for Children. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you.
Here we see how children are already adapting to the climate change, and they're really thinking about the nature and living with that and adapting to it. Do you think?
Yes, they do it a lot. I think it is even more important for them than for me, for example. Of course, I like nature, but they're really worried.
All right.
And that's, I think, because of we had some, not some, but few numbers of lessons of biology, ecology, sociology. So some students, I think, even know more than me in these fields.
Yeah, that all is combined together. Okay, any questions from the audience? There.
Hello, I'm Dorota from Poland. I would like to ask you whether your initiative is kind of addressed to schools or to families with children that would sign up and come for the workshops. What is it? Or for both?
Actually for both, but we have a principal program which consists 7 years. So we propose to children come to us twice a week. Every lesson is 2 hours. And sometimes we cooperate with schools, with private schools, with state schools. With state schools it's not so simple. And we do some workshops there. But our main program is in our kind of building, and it's like this. Yeah.
More out of school activities.
Out of school activities, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry for another question, but how much does it cost? What's the cost of it? Is it for free? No.
No, it's not for free. It's not for free. We would like to make it more, how to say, we would like to be more open to each family. It's our aim actually, but now it's not for free, and it costs. Oh, I need to count now in euros because we have rubles. Per year, it costs around 500 euros, something like this. Something like this.
In order just to explain more, our school is a business. The government doesn't support us, so children have to pay us.
Not children, but their parents. Yeah, but everything is included. All instruments, ceramic, everything, even food. We have some posts for food and so on. Everything is included.
Hey, can I ask you a question about, beautiful work that you do? So, of course, like the pedagogical work and the research that you've done, how long do you take to prepare that, or you do it simultaneously as you create content and you deliver, or did you have like a 2-year trial period before you actually did all these things? How did you get this online?
In the very beginning, it was simultaneously. So we made one step and we sort of made the program at the same time. But then we started making the program in advance for a year to come. Now it is all written. I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the older students are 14 years old now, and we want to make some additional programs for 15, 16 years old students and so on.
And at the same time, the program is, I have to say, constantly changing, because once you come to the school, you see that something is working, something is not working. Maybe you have to try this or that. So it is the constant program progress.
Yes. Big last one.
Yes. What is the reaction of the parents? Can you tell us some, for example, questions, and what are the expectations of the parents?
Expectation of parents?
Yes, when they bring their child to the school, what do they think that happens?
Okay, there's a few kinds of parents. Some of them think that the child must be an architect. So I should say that not everyone understands what architectural thinking is. And the other parents want to, just to develop this creative thinking and so on, which children actually miss in our state schools. They're not architecture. There are few lessons of arts. I mean, every kind of arts in our state school. So they are searching for some creativity in our school, some freedom, even freedom of thinking. In our school, because one of our recommendation for our students, parents and teachers is to respect the voice, respect the opinion and the idea of each other. So it's like free thinking, which we also miss a bit in our country. So that's it.
And I will say another thing, that parents really enjoy this thing that children in our school, they are all the time they're making the presentations in the end of the lesson. So they speak on public, in front of their mates and in front of their parents as well. And we developed this skill in our school, and parents like it a lot as well.
Okay. Maybe one question.
Do you cooperate with any university and have any research or teacher education or teacher education?
We didn't cooperate with universities in Belarus, but we had some cooperation with university in Graz, architecture university in Graz, and in Belgrade. We made some workshops, but it was more like cooperation. And did I understand right? Do we make some workshops for teacher?
No, the teacher education in the university. Do you have contact with them?
Actually, for now, no. We organize some workshops for teachers who want to come to us to describe them how to teach architecture, and not only just some instruments that could be useful in every sphere. but I mean officially with universities, for now no. But we dream about it, yes.
Okay, thank you for your great work.
Thank you so much.
So next we'll have Pihla Meskanen on stage. She's the CEO and founder of Arkki Finland and Arkki International. She has been leading Arkki for 25 years and developing the unique Arkki concept. Welcome.
25 years in 15 minutes, I was told. So, I just need slides. So, I will start with the story. And the story started already long before 25 years ago with my mother, Tuuli Meskanen. And she was developing in her kindergartens methods how to engage children in deep learning and learning various skills through architecture and three-dimensional working. And in 1993, she participated in the group in the National Board of Education, where she was one of the writers when they created the first national core curriculum for basic education of architecture. And the same, when it was published, she asked me and my colleague Miina Vuorinen, so what do you think? Should we start architecture school for children? And we were 23 with Miina, and we were like, yes, sure, that's a great idea, let's do it. And on this road, we are, we have many architects been working with us. The one I'm mentioning now in the beginning first is Miss Niina Hummelin, who is our head teacher since 17 years. And altogether we have had 270 members in working for Arkki in Finland. And at this moment in Arkki Finland there is around 44 architects who teach mostly part-time. We have been lucky to receive some recognition as well for the program, and this week we got chosen to the 100 to 2020 collection, and 2 weeks ago we received the UNICEF Child Friendly Cities Inspire Award for meaningful child participation. And last year I got knighted by the president, so now I'm a knight without a sword. So I will tell about different things what we do. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. So we have several different programs, and I will try to explain the difference between them. So first one is the long-term architectural education, which follows the national core curriculum. And we have theme courses, school collaboration, events and workshop, participatory projects, and publication and teacher training, and even birthday parties, architecture birthday parties. So our longest program is a 15 years program, and it's around 1,500 hours, and it's meant for pupils from 4 years to 19 years of age. And this program will follow the National Core Curriculum of Basic Education in the Arts, and the National Curriculum is made for 9 different art forms. If you are interested in this, you can find it in the internet. And we even in Finland, we have a law for after-school architecture education, and in the law it says that the teachers should have the master's degree in the subject, which means in this case architecture. Our curriculum, as I mentioned, is for all the ages, and it's after-school program, and the children join it for 1.5 hours every week. So we have different groups for all the ages, and the children are in the size of 12 kids with 1 architect at a time. And to complete the national curriculum is 1,300 hours, but what we offer at Arkki is 2,000 hours that the children can not only choose the step-by-step program, but they can also include theme courses if they wish. According to the national curriculum, the themes, I love it because Alexander and you also had this similar round example of how to divide the themes in the curriculum. So we have the main themes in the national curriculum is the world of architecture, our own environments, and topical phenomena. And around these main principles, we built our own curriculum. And actually, as Tuuli has been the part of making the first national curriculum, I have been also participating in several, and now the last one, both Nina and Jana have been participating as members in the National Board of Education. So we have been hearing today that to learn both subject matters and skills, we need our hands. And that's actually something that we always have thought since we already started first with the hut building. It's something very engaging, embodied learning. And we think that it's quite unique. Architecture is a unique way to learn all the STEAM subjects because it's already an interdisciplinary subject that intertwines the technology and the arts through architecture. So not only the STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art and mathematics, but we can also incorporate humanities and social sciences through architectural projects. And when we work hands-on and through different phenomena, we can also learn a broad skill set at the same time. The most important thing to creating this experiential and embracing learning environment is the teachers, the psychological, physical learning environment. As Minna Huotilainen mentioned, it's of most importance when you want to test your skills and your creativity. So creativity is the highest skill of the human brain, and we talk about robotics and everything taking over us, but we many times forget that we are the ones who actually, like, we create the robots, we create AI, we design all the programs. So I think that this is something, the higher order thinking skills are the skills that we need to focus on. And of course, most of the world agrees on this, and you can see that the old school system is focusing on remembering and the lowest order thinking skills. And we don't need to do this step by step, but we can just focus on all fields at the same time and focus on the creativity skills. As many of us do around the world, we also focus on project-based learning, and it's a way the children get to think naturally about different solutions. They start to see the world full of different possibilities and not obstacles. And by going through the process again and again, it becomes a natural way of their thinking. So we can talk about design thinking or creative problem solving. I think they are referring to a similar thing. And architecture is a perfect way to develop creative skills because, as we were already told today, it's not about right answers. In architecture, as in art, there are many possible solutions, equally good solutions, and not correct answers. And this gives the freedom and security for the children to try different things. But of course, the facilitators, the architect facilitators, and their pedagogical skills are also in a main role in this process. So our motto is play, create, and succeed. And play means that it's not free play, but it is using the natural instinct of us all humans, the playful attitude, and taking it with us in the creative and experiential processes. Creating, we encourage the children to always look for different answers, and actually through architecture is really good because there is not only one correct answer. And succeed means that that we want to encourage this atmosphere that learning is fun, and everybody can do it, and they can be encouraged to continue this learning after they leave the classroom, and they can look around the city and continue with their open mind and playful attitude to learn more. And the 21st century skills we have already heard many times today, as Anders Adlercreutz also mentioned, our Architect Parliament member. So these are the skills that we all need in the future, and these are the skills that you can practice through architecture processes. We have also had very successful projects with pupils with special needs, and our head teacher, Ms. Nina Hummelin, has also conducted a year-long program with the support of Ministry of Education, and worked with different pupils with different types of learning disabilities, and it was so promising, and the pupils and the teachers were so happy about the program, and some of the teachers really cried, but not out of sorrow, but out of happiness. It was the first time that they saw their pupils engaged for 1.5 hours at a time, constantly, no problems, and they were actually like concentrating maybe even better than the so-called regular pupils. And we have very promising experiences from active learning, and this chart is showing that how much active learning improves the learning results. So on the left side you can see that if you just listen, you remember hardly anything, only maybe 5% if you're awake. And going towards the right side, you see that the more active you are engaging in the learning, the more information you will remember later. And this is the advances of hands-on learning and working in small groups and using your whole body and senses in the learning process. So now we get to number 2, our theme courses. So we have different short-term courses, which are usually around 40 hours. They are from Monday to Friday in the school holiday time. And we have different themes, and the pupils stay in the course for like 9 to 5. Here you can see some of the huts. And on the right side you can see fashion made by the pupils, and these pictures are from our Bangkok center, and you can see that there is a lot of engagement in learning and by doing, and then also presenting your own clothes in the runway at the end. And then we do school collaboration. So we have in Finland we have different kind of programs, and they are financed by different ways. So for example in Espoo and Vantaa we work together with the city, and they have programs called KULPS and KOPS, which means culture in the school. So the cities offer the 5th graders, 4th to 6th graders a possibility to engage in different cultural activities, and they can choose if they want to come to Arkki or if they want to go to some other art activities. And these programs are free for the school groups. And then we have made, for one school, we have made a curriculum to have architecture as an elective subject for 1st to 6th grade. And Minna-Mari already told you about this project at Taivalahti school, in which we work, and she works together with the teachers, the elementary school teachers. Then we do workshops and events, and these are for different purposes. So it can be an event for our own pupils. We have 800 pupils every week in this long-term architecture education. So at Christmas and at the springtime we have events to end the season and present the pupils' works. And also we many times arrange workshops for the families, children and parents in collaboration with these events. So one of the like we have many participated yesterday as well. One of the like popular ones is city planning. And this, what you see here as a decoration, it's called Puzzle City, and it can also be used in huge workshops for families and children. And this is a third set of structural pieces that the pupils can build geometric forms and structures, either by themselves or together with their families. And the last, fifth one is participation projects. So here you can see Save the Children Foundation, headquarters in Helsinki, and the pupils works inside. This is together with a construction company, a summer school for the families, the kids of the family. And this is our biggest project out of the 14 projects we have done with Helsinki City Planning Office, engaging children in different ways in participating in developing our city. So we have done participating in ideas, but also children have been judging competitions and making competition briefs as well. And this project you will hear about later today. And the last part is publications, exhibition, teaching material. And this is the birthday party workshop, sweet architecture and sweet city, which you can eat at the end of the birthday. And now we come to the publications. And actually today, I'm just going to, I have 1 minute call, but I'm going to mention about this package because we have also developed together with Finnish school teachers a package for them to use for grades 1 to 6, and it has 12 different phenomenon programs. That it also includes lectures and support and guidelines for them how to do it at school without the architects going there. So we believe that our program gives children and youth the means and mediums to be creators of the future, no matter what their occupation will be. And I thank you for your attention. And before we go to the lunch, which everybody's looking for, so we will now have some special release of our new book. Sorry, I have to go through this. So this is our international partners from different countries. I just have to go through because I didn't remember I had this. So now we come to the publications. So just in the conference of 2009, we published this toolkit together with all the Nordic countries and participants from all the Nordic countries. And now this book has been translated into 9 languages, and you can find it on the website. And if you want to translate it into more languages, just contact me, and then we'll continue that process. And now I am very happy to present the Arkki 25 years book, which has taken us 6 years to do, because we intended this to be Arkki 20 years book, but it didn't happen. So now it is here. And we have many contributors to this book, so I will ask people to come on the stage. Yeah, this is presenting it. There's just a lot of articles inside and a lot of presentations. You can find more about what we do at Arkki. And then there is, at the end, there is a vintage section where you can see what happened in the beginning. So first I would like to ask the founder of Arkki, Tuuli, to come here on the stage. Then I would ask the other persons who have contributed in the writing of the book, Miss Niina Hummelin, to come on stage as well. Sini Koivisto. She's one of the students from 1994, and now she's architect and has been teacher at Arkki for 12 years. Then we have Arkki's new director, Miss Jaana Räsänen, who has also written in the book. And Mr. Mikko Hartikainen, Counselor of Education from the National Board of Education. We have also in the book we have an article from Juhani Pallasmaa, architect and professor. He's not able to come today. And Mr. Stavros Martinos, our head teacher and academic director from Greece. And also I would like to ask here our graphic designer, Mrs. Pia Pettersson, if she is present here, yes, because we spent endless hours during the night doing the graphic design. And Sini Parikka, please join. You were there 6 years ago when we started making the book. And I guess that Sini will give you some instructions for the lunch, but for our, we would stay here for taking pictures, so don't go anywhere. I just ask the rest of the Arkki teachers to join us for the picture. Meantime, you can have lunch.